Welcome to DarkWhispers AI, where the line between nightmare and memory begins to blur. Tonight's story is one you may have heard in whispers. It's been called an urban legend, a creepypasta, a modern horror myth. But what if the truth, hidden behind classified documents and military silence, is far more disturbing? This is the terrifying tale of the Russian sleep experiment, and the possibility that it wasn't fiction at all. The year is 1947. World War II is over, but the Cold War has begun. Paranoia reigns. Nations scramble for dominance in nuclear arms, technology, and mind control. And deep within the Soviet Union, it's said that a group of researchers were tasked with a singular, horrific goal. Keep 5 test subjects awake for 30 days straight. Not just awake, cognitively functional, alive, alert, controlled. They created a stimulant gas, something synthetic and untested, that was pumped into a sealed chamber. The test subjects were political prisoners, promised freedom if they survived. The room was stocked with food, running water, and enough oxygen to keep the subjects alive. Every movement was observed through microphones and one-way glass. At first, everything seemed normal. But by day 5, something began to shift. The men began to whisper, not to the scientists, but to each other. And then to themselves. They grew paranoid, hostile. By day 9, one subject screamed for hours, his vocal cords shredded. Others sat in silence, rocking, eyes wide open. The gas kept them awake, but something else kept them from sleeping. By day 10, the microphones went quiet. Fearing the worst, the scientists opened the chamber. What they found defied everything they understood about the human mind and the soul. The walls were smeared with blood and tissue. The subjects had torn open their own abdomens with bare hands and removed organs. One was dead. The others smiled. They begged to be left inside. To continue the experiment, they claimed they needed the gas, that without it they would fall asleep, and sleep was death. One man, when asked who he was, responded calmly, "We are you. We are the madness that lurks within. You can't kill us, because we are what you hide from." The remaining survivors were restrained and removed. But as the gas wore off, they resisted violently. 2 soldiers were killed during removal. One subject died on the operating table, laughing as his heart stopped. In the final moments, the last subject pleaded not to be sedated, not to be put under. He screamed that sleep would set it free. What it was, no one ever learned. The facility was allegedly sealed, the records destroyed, and the scientists relocated, silenced. For years, the story was dismissed as a creepypasta, born on obscure forums, passed around in late-night Reddit threads. But then, something odd happened. Declassified CIA files revealed MK Ultra, a real-life program where the US government experimented with drugs, sleep deprivation, and psychological torture. The Soviets had similar programs, known as psychotronics, focused on human endurance, hypnosis, and behavioral control. The more we learned, the less the Russian sleep experiment looked like fiction. In 2010, a former Soviet psychologist, under anonymity, claimed that similar studies did exist. Not in one chamber, but many. He described subjects who remained conscious for up to 15 days, whose EEG readings flatlined while they continued to speak. Even today, in remote labs across the world, sleep manipulation remains an active field of research. Military studies suggest that extreme sleep deprivation can induce hallucinations, psychosis, and total personality collapse. But what if that's not all it unlocks? What if there's something in us, something ancient, buried under the layers of ego and sanity that only emerges when sleep is stripped away? The terror of the Russian sleep experiment is not in the gore or the madness. It's in the idea that somewhere out there, a mind has stared into the abyss, and the abyss stared back. What happens when you keep a human being conscious for too long? Do they go mad? Or do they become something else? Let us know in the comments. Do you think the Russian sleep experiment is pure fiction? Or is it a fragment of something real, something still happening, in places we'll never see? Subscribe to Dark Whispers AI, where fear sleeps lightly and truth never rests.